Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and still I rise, a proud American, proud to be a citizen of the greatest country in the world, proud to proclaim that I am a liberated Democrat, speak truth to power, truth about power, unbought and unbossed. Also proud to be aided today with my mnemonic notes. I'd like to talk to you about invidious discrimination in the United States of America, the greatest country in the world. I know of no one in this House who believes that invidious discrimination is appropriate. I believe that every member of this House will go on record indicating that invidious discrimination should not exist in this, the greatest country in the world. But what I would like to do is give some empirical evidence of the existence of this invidious discrimination, and then say a word or two about possible remedies. Newsday had a testing investigation. On November 17, 2019, Newsday released a scathing report detailing an investigation into the nature and extent of real estate sales practices on Long Island in New York. Now, do not confuse the fact that this was in New York on Long Island with the notion that it doesn't happen in other places. It could have happened in my city, Houston, Texas, and my belief is it happens every day in a good many places around this country. The evidence continues with this. The report entitled Long Island Divide was the culmination of a 3.5-year comprehensive investigation entailing 240 hours of secretly recorded meetings with real estate agents and analysis of 5,764 house listings. It appears that the Newsday report revealed a 19% rate of discrimination against Asian Americans, 39% rate of discrimination against Latinos, and 49% rate of discrimination against African Americans. It appears that the persons who were the agents who were the persons being spoken to by persons seeking opportunities, it appears that these agents refused to provide services to customers of color, some of them, not all, showed borrowers of color far fewer homes than their white counterparts, provided inaccurate information to borrowers of color, made inappropriate statements based on race, placed higher requirements on borrowers of color, and steered potential customers based on race. Nobody in this House would agree that this is appropriate. Everybody in this House, I believe, would condemn this. But here's where the rubber meets the road. It's one thing to condemn it and to say that it's wrong. That's a talking point. We can have the greatest talking points in the world, but this will continue until we make those talking points an action item. There are things that we can do to prevent this level of invidious discrimination. The question is not whether there's a way, the question is, do we have the will to challenge and take on this level of invidious discrimination? Because of the many remedies proposed, the one that stands out the most is that of increasing the fund for fair housing testing, to do exactly what they did with this report, to go into various venues and test and acquire this empirical evidence. Nobody wants to see this happen, but we cannot stop it by simply talking about it. We have to have an action, and the action item is testing. I will be saying more about this later on this week because there's legislation right here pending in this House that we can bring to the floor of this House, pass, and we can prevent this kind of behavior from taking place, because when we acquire the empirical evidence, we can then confront those who do this we can also educate them, and we can pass on a legacy to future generations of success in ending invidious discrimination. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The chair recognizes